Hey, good morning. Welcome to this edition of, guess what? Slow Money Blues. Hey, congratulations for taking the first step. My name is Doug, retired U.S. Marine and two-time combat veteran turned entrepreneur at your service today. And today's episode is Doubting Dan. Once again, today's episode is Doubting Dan. I am super stoked as always to be bringing you some live content to teach you how to build, launch, and grow your very own personal freedom success system. That's why I exist, to help you literally do that so you can get off, guess what, or get out of house arrest and also cubicle hell. But a lot of people, since the pandemic, guess what? They're working from home. So if you're working from home, maybe you're under house arrest. But because we do have all this great technology, hello, our smart devices, and we can be mobile. Maybe you're not working from home. Maybe you're working like, I don't want to be at the house today. I want to be somewhere else. And so if that's you, great. By the way, if you have any questions, just visit slowmoneyblues.com and click on Ask Doug or submit your question on IG, Facebook, or Twitter using hashtag SlowMoneyBlues. So we do have a dynamic show today. And the thing that we're going to be talking about really today is how to eliminate doubt, worry, and fear. And then you might be asking yourself, well, Doug, isn't this all about building your own personal freedom success system? So what does doubt, worry, and fear have to do with it? Well, everything. So that's why I want you to stay tuned in. But if you've been rocking with me for some time, once again, big shout out to all of our fans over in France. Man, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in always. Thank you for writing, rating, and reviewing us. Also, if you have an Apple device, just, scroll down in the search bar, click podcast, search Slow Money Blues, all one word, and go ahead and subscribe to the podcast. And then after listening to a couple of episodes, if you like it or even if you don't like it, I would greatly appreciate your review. So far, we have, I think, all 5-star reviews, which is really, really awesome. So that lets me know that I'm doing a great job, and I want to continue to do a great job for you. So this is the question. And this was your homework from last week. Your homework from last week was to visit your local economic development office and introduce yourself. So yes, I do know that we're kind of in a pandemic. I think they say once you go from a pandemic, it's more like kind of an epidemic. Whatever stage or phase we are in, I know that all across the country, everybody's in different stages and phases as what the protocols are. But the goal, literally last week in your homework last week, was to go and introduce yourself to your local economic development office. And typically, economic development offices have a team. But depending on how large your city or your town or township is, then it might be smaller, even if your local economic development is at the county level. But the goal is, once again, to go and introduce yourself and find out what is going on in your local community and how it impacts you as an individual, and also how it impacts your business. And you may even find out, guess what, that you have some actual solutions. More importantly, there are some great resources at all local economic development offices. See, the local economic development office's goal is to really make sure that sustainable business is in your local marketplace, because they know that that is good for everybody. As always, I have to pay the bills. And so today's sponsors are LIINKY and BIGNET. So if you are a solopreneur, a mompreneur, or a dadpreneur, or even an entrepreneur, I want you to go to LIINKY.com. That's LIINKY. It's one link with endless possibilities. And basically, you can set up a link for literally anything. In fact, if you're curious, go to LIINKY.com/SlowMoneyBlues, and you will see yours truly, Doug, on there. And basically, I kind of did it as a promo. And then when I'm out in the marketplace, people are like, how can you connect with me or whatever the case may be? I'm just like, hey, here's this link right here. Check that out. You can learn almost anything and everything you want to know about me there. Also, BIGNETDOMAIN, where the net just got bigger. Listen, in 2022, believe it or not, people are still struggling to build websites. They may not know exactly what they want, but they know that they want something. So if you go to BIGNETDOMAIN and if you actually go inside, complete a profile, which costs you absolutely nothing but a little bit of time, you can see all of the great web templates they have. They also have e-commerce, email marketing, and all types of things to get you out on social media. It's a great, great tool. Now, upon checkout, use BIGNET and you'll receive a 10% savings upon checkout. It doesn't get any better than that. Now, you know, we always have a poll question, right? We always have a poll question for every show. Why? Because I'm interested in learning everything I can about my viewing audience, because in turn, what I can do is answer all of the questions probably in a podcast. Now, this is today's poll question. Do you doubt the possibilities for your life? Yes, no, or it depends. I will tell you that probably when I was younger, I probably, like a lot of people, doubted. And the reason that I doubted, well, I'll be telling you all about the podcast if I actually said that. But if I told you now, let me digress just a little bit. You know, life can sometimes be a little challenging, right? And so in your challenging moments, what do you find yourself doing? I mean, do you put your head in the sand when life is challenging, or do you rise to the occasion? Well, hopefully this segment is going to help you do exactly what we talked about, which is eliminate doubt, worry, and fear. So this is going to sound absolutely absurd. My brother told me that he works with this guy named Dan. And Dan confided in my brother that he wants to get promoted, but he thinks he is not qualified. Now, if you heard my story, if you go all the way back to season 1, episode 1, you know that I am a retired U.S. Marine. In fact, I always say it at the beginning of the show. And when I, like my intro, you know that I'm retired. And so one of the things in trying to get promoted in the military, and that's probably for all branches of service, one thing is you're not going to get promoted if you are unqualified. So you have to be qualified even before you get promoted. But in this instance right here, Dan did not think he was qualified. And so each time the promotion came up, someone else would get the promotion. Now, of course, you would be frustrated too if every time you went for promotion, you did not get promoted. So this is what my brother told Dan. He said, hey, look, what I want you to do is I want you to go and ask your supervisor why you didn't get the promotion. Let's get personal. To my brother's surprise, cannot believe this, he was like, man, Dan asked the supervisor why he didn't get promoted. And the supervisor informed Dan that he only promotes people who are leaders and not followers. This was Dan's response. Dan said, okay, and returned to his desk. Can you identify with Dan? Well, first of all, if you listen closely to the story, we find that Dan doubts. And the thing that we're literally talking about is how to eliminate doubt, worry, and fear. And you may be saying, well, hey, Doug, how does that correlate to me being an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, a dadpreneur, a mompreneur, or a mompreneur, or even an entrepreneur, or even a small business owner? Well, this is the deal, right? First of all, if you are a small business owner and you have people that are looking at you for leadership and you're always doubting, worrying, and fearing, they're not going to stay with you very long. Because you basically are telling them that you're not confident in your business, which means that if your business fails, their livelihood, aka their job, is gone. So they are going to be like, I don't want to be with you. In fact, if we did a survey right now, we could ask one person or we could ask 1 million people. And if we ask them, hey, look, would you go and work for a company where they were always doubtful and fearing about what's going to happen and they might not succeed? The one person would say no, and the 1 million people would also say no. So no one wants to be around anyone or any organization that is full of doubt, worry, and fear. Now we have to ask ourselves this question. This is the logical question. Where does doubt, worry, and fear come from? I'm going to tell you there's two places where I think doubt, worry, and fear primarily come from. I think either it's imagined, right? Or it's real. So what would be something that's like imagined? The future. Like no one can predict the future. For example, right now, everyone knows right now, and this is like a real business lesson in like real time. Nobody would have predicted in 2022 that Russia was going to invade Ukraine. And so what were the consequences? What was the fallout from Russia invading Ukraine? Well, of course, we know just the horrors of I don't even want to call it a war. A horror of any invasion is that it innately causes fear. But what did it do to the markets? Everybody was like, well, I think Russia is a big player in oil, right? And they have all these relationships. I mean, after all, they are a pretty big country, right? And so the ripple effects, because of the unknown, because of the fear, created this doubt and this worry. And guess what? The markets went a tumbling. But who is the market? The market is, look in the mirror and say, the market is me. You're the market and I'm also the market. And it caused all this doubt. It caused all of this worry, and it caused all of this fear. And this is the deal. Even with a plan, it still caused great fear. All of the people that comprise the G7 and the G20 said, you know what, we don't support this. We're going to start putting sanctions on this. And now this isn't political. This is really like all business. I'm not kidding. Let's bring it all the way back down to like the personal level. What keeps you awake at night if you're a business owner? What keeps you awake at night if you're an individual? Well, I'm going to tell you, how do you eliminate that doubt and that worry and that fear? Have a great plan. And also make that your plan gives you the ability to be agile, to be nimble, so that you don't have to basically say, well, you know what, I'm kind of stuck doing this. And it's funny how when people are fearful and they worry and they doubt, they cannot move. It's the same way in business, because businesses are comprised of people. People have personalities. So you eliminate doubt. One of the primary ways to eliminate doubt is with a plan. One of the episodes that I did was called like the 3 P's of business, but you can call them 7 P's of business. Proper planning prevents poor performance. And so if you have a plan, chances are you're not going to be doubtful and worry and fear. You say, what type of plan should I have? Well, I'm going to tell you, if you're a business owner, you should have a business plan. If you don't have one, it's very easy to get one. Go to slowmoneyblues.com, click on resources, and there is literally a 60-page free sample template for a business plan. It's a guide. There's a guide, and then there's an actual sample business plan. So I'm eliminating basically all of the excuses. I'm helping you eliminate the doubt and the worry and the fear, because a lot of people want to start a business but the thing about it is they're just like Doubting Dan, because they don't have a plan. Another thing is that beyond just having a plan, I talked about the 7 P's, but there is a higher P. And the higher P is purpose. There was this book by Rick Warren that he wrote, and it's still a New York Times bestseller. It's called Purpose Driven Life. But it's applicable to everything, because it said purpose driven life. So that is all encompassing. It's still a New York Times bestseller. In fact, they said the only other book that is outsold Purpose Driven Life is, guess what? The Bible. Man, that means a lot of people out here were uncertain about their own lives. Now, when you're uncertain, you know what's going to follow you? Doubt, worry, and fear. It's almost like you're walking on eggshells constantly. Can you imagine? Just imagine that with me for a minute. There's a room full of eggshells and you're walking on them. And every time you walk, you're crunching. You're crunching. You're crunching. You're crunching. That would be totally annoying, would almost drive you crazy. You would all be anxious all the time, right? So you need to have a plan, but then you also need to have purpose. And oftentimes when I'm in the marketplace, I find out that people don't even know why they are doing what they're doing. Last night, real time, I was out. I get a massage on a weekly basis, and it's some beautiful young ladies there, very very knowledgeable, very very professional, and I have an opportunity just to share with them. And one of the things I challenged them was just to kind of live big, bold, inspired, and great. And the thing, it was so interesting to see how when I began just to communicate just a little bit, just a wee bit, how I could see how the doubt and the worry and the fear. And I asked one of the young ladies, I had just met her. I had never seen her before. She said, "How long have you been here?" Because I've never met you. She was like, "I've been here for 2 weeks." I was like, "Oh," I said, "I've never met you because when I go in, it's typically a little bit later in the evening." And I was like, "So I said, I told her about the live big and, you know, and I said, "So what is your legendary life?" And then she shared it and she spoke it out loud. And what was amazing about that is when she said it, the other two ladies were around and they said, they just began to want to help her. They was like giving her like, "Hey, okay, this is how I can help you do that." It was amazing. That's crazy because like her legendary life was really like her purpose. And another young lady was like, "Hey, you know what? I used to sing." I was like, "Wow." And she says, "When you come back from your massage, I have a video like when I sang my first song." And she showed me the video. I was like, "You have a beautiful voice." I said, "That's what you should do." And it's so amazing to see that happen. So if you have not listened at all to any of my podcasts, many years ago, I developed my life's purpose, which is my mission statement for my life. And it goes a little something like this. It says, "My life's purpose really is to help everyone that I meet discover their calling, passion, and purpose, do it with excellence, and live a legendary life. That's why I'm here." And so as an entrepreneur, I was like, "Hey, man, I want to show people how to build, launch, and grow their own personal freedom success system." But what I do know is this, because there are so many boxes that people want to put you in, you need to be inspired. You need to be motivated. So that guess what? That motivation can help take you to another level of elevation. And really, it's just kind of doing this like virtually or belly to belly, or when I'm in a marketplace, I always typically know what's going to happen. And the result is always like, "Hey, man, I'm really inspired." Like, and people say, "Are you a motivational speaker?" And in years past, I didn't know how to answer that question. But I got smart and I asked the question like my dad used to always talk to people and he would answer their question with a question. And I was like, "Hey, are you motivated and inspired?" And you know what they would say? "Yes." And I'll say, "There you have the answer to your question." But I don't proclaim to be a motivational speaker. I just love inspiring people to pursue their calling, passion, and purpose, do it with excellence, and live a legendary life. And that's typically what happens. I mean, who wants to be around mediocrity? No one. It's inspiring to see these two gentlemen say, "We're going to take outer space into our own hands. And because we have the resource, we're going to start going to outer space. It's great." People are inspired by that. Or for example, "Hey, look, you know what, man, I'm tired of lighting a match and having to strike a match and light a candle and take this thing around. If the wind blows it, it's great that we have a light bulb. These great inventions. Isn't it great that we can connect to the entire world from the palm of our hands?" That is super duper inspiring. So if you haven't been paying attention, if you haven't been reading the tea leaves, one of the other pillars of how to eliminate doubt, worry, and fear is to get inspired. And how do you get inspired? You have a plan and you have purpose. And then the third part of that is to surround yourself by like-minded people. Surround yourself by like-minded people. So let me help you with this, right? Because I'm going to help you tear down all types of barriers today. Because I said how to eliminate doubt, worry, and fear. So you got your plan, you got your purpose. Be around like-minded people. Say, "Well, I'm from a small town and I don't know if there's any like-minded. I don't know if there's any people." Trust me, whether you're in a big town or if you're in a big city or a small town, I promise you there is someone there that is super successful, and they literally are chomping at the bit to help the next generation move forward. What you have to do is you have to seek them out. Just begin to ask, hey, who knows how to do this? Because I'm interested in doing that. Who knows how to do that? Because I'm interested in doing that. Now, let's just say you are in such a place where you said, man, the only thing I got access is the internet. Well, guess what? I don't believe in luck, but the internet is a phenomenal tool. So you can let people mentor you virtually. And I'm going to share something with you. My goals, I'm looking at them right now. For 2022, invest more, earn more. And what I mean by that is that I want my investments to earn me more money. Invest more, earn more. If I invest more and if I put them in the right vehicle, I'm going to earn more. So I got really curious about this thing called cryptocurrency, like super curious. I'm a super curious person already, but I was really curious about that thing. And literally in about 30 days, I went from not knowing anything to knowing a lot about the crypto world. And it's super duper awesome. In fact, crypto, unlike any other type of currency that exists in the world, will change many, many lives. It has the possibility to change the entire world. But because so many people doubt about what it is because they don't know what it is, it creates worry. And then that in turn creates fear. But if I told you, this is going to, and I actually send a text out to people that I know. I said, if I told you, you could make 100% guaranteed returns on your money, would you believe me? And of course, no one responded. No one. But if I told you it's true, you'd be like, Doug, it's not true. There's that doubt, worry, and fear. Where does it come from? It comes from not knowing. And we always fear the thing that we do not know. And then you know what we do? We find ourselves just like Doubting Dan. And Dan wants to get the promotion, but his supervisor said, I only promote leaders, not followers. How do you go from being a follower to being a leader? Well, let's do a quick recap. First, you must have a plan. Secondly, you must have a purpose. Thirdly, you must surround yourself by like-minded people. I hope this helps you. I hope this helps you a lot. I really, 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 really do, because listen, I don't want any doubting Dans in the world. I want everybody to be certain about who they are and where they are going. So what are our major takeaways? This is the major takeaway if you have not been listening. Doubt is a dream killer and an opportunity stealer. I'll go further. Doubt, fear, and worry are dream killers and opportunity stealers. But a plan and a purpose and like-minded people are dream givers. I promise you that. You can take that check to the bank and cash it. And I promise you it will never return to you insufficient funds. So what's your homework for this week? Well, that's a great question. Thank you so much for asking. What I would really love for you to do is this. Write down 3 things you believe, not what everybody else believes, but that you believe you are really good at. And then I want you to share them with 3 friends. I'm going to say this again. I want you to write down 3 things you are really good at, and I want you to share them with 3 friends. Now you say, well, what's the point about 3 friends? Well, in doing some research again, I found out that most people don't have 5 good friends in their life. People they really trust, people they really know, people they can really count on. So that's why I'm saying 3. I want you to write down 3 things you're really good at and share them. And then they'll probably confirm. They'll either confirm that, hey, you're really good at these things, or they say, and then, man, you'll get your affirmation, you'll get your confirmation, and hopefully that'll be some inspiration. And then guess what? You can be off and running into the races. I'm super duper stoked. Listen, if you stayed for the whole show, what I want you to do is give yourself a big round of applause. Big round of applause for you, because you deserve it after all. Give yourself a big cheer. Go ahead and sound the drums. And then also go ahead. Look, it's great. This is an awesome time to be alive. Man, if I was born in 2020, man, and see all this great technology, my goodness, I would be wired up, fired up, and ready to go each and every day. But I didn't come on the timeline in 2020. But no matter when you came on the timeline, this is the deal. Don't allow doubt, worry, and fear to dominate your life. I want you to develop a plan. I want you to develop your purpose. I want you to hang around like-minded people. And I promise you, all of your dreams will absolutely 100% positively come true. Now, this is the last thing that I want you to do. Tell anyone that you know that's suffering from slow money blues to tune in each Tuesday from 9:30 to 10 a.m. Also, this is the live show. Don't forget to tune into the sneak peek, which is released every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guess what? It's only about 45 seconds. And on our live show, what I have an opportunity to is to unpack and unhack that episode for you so you continue to build, launch, and grow your own personal freedom success system. Also, I want you to follow, like, and share Slow Money Blues on social media and join our private Facebook group. Now, the Facebook group is private, but it's not hidden. So you have to answer about 3 questions to get in. But guess what? Once you get in, you're going to get some awesome goodies. So I want you to go and sign up for our private first Facebook group. Until then, what I want you to do is I want you to continue to build. I want you to continue to launch and grow your own personal freedom success system. And I promise you this, I will see you next Tuesday. Bye.